Today we're in Unreal Engine 5.6 and I'm building a working turret from scratch, one that locks you in and fires alternating missiles from both sides. It's a quick project but a solid way to practice blueprints. So here's how it's gonna go. Start out with a third-person template. Set up a turret blueprint with a mesh and collision. Then I'm gonna make a projectile with a movement and collision. Then I'm gonna map the controls so E lets you mount the turret and left click fires.
I would like to move the spawn outside of the middle. For the turret, we'll put it in the middle of the map. Let's hit play. Let's walk on it. And that, oh yeah, it gets called. I would like to initially, once we press E, lock the camera, lock the character movement.
And finally, I'm gonna add alternating fires from each side so it feels more realistic. By the end, you'll have a basic but working turret system you can expand on. I'm opening up 5.6.1, naming the project turret. I grabbed a free mesh from the Fab store, but you can use anything, even a placeholder cube.
That's pretty cool. I think I like this one. Yeah, let's go with this one for now. That's my project.
After that, I created a new actor blueprint, called it BP_turret. In the turret blueprint, I added the mesh and then a box collision so the game knows when the player overlaps it.
Create a blueprint class of actor BP turret. Perfect. And let's start working on this turret. That static meshes. So the first thing I want to do is add a collision. Let's add a box collision. That way we can detect if we're touch the turret, I guess. Attach the box. Let's make this box bigger. Perfect. Now let's go to the event graph. Click on the box. And let's make an event. Let's make an on component begin overlap with other actor. For the other actor, we're gonna make sure if we overlap with the component third person character. And for now, let's just do a simple print test. And we're gonna call the name of the actor when we touch it. See if it works. Oh. Forgot first thing first, I would like to move the spawn outside of the middle. For the turret, we'll put it in the middle of the map. Let's hit play. Let's walk on it. And that, oh yeah, it gets called. Remove the arrows. Everything's working as it should be.
I tested it with a quick print screen, and yep, it fired up, turret activated when I walked up to it.
Saying the name of the blueprint, I'll just say turret has been activated. Let's test that out. That's a turret, and yes, turret has been activated.
It's a good start. So then I placed two arrow components, one on the left and one on the right. Then these will be spawn points for the projectiles, and later we'll make them alternate.
Okay, I want to make an arrow so I can show where the bullets are going to come from. Let's see. 90 degrees. For now, we'll have the bullets come out straight from the turret. I'll probably have one per missiles, I guess. Let's duplicate this one. Arrow 2. Move that to this side. Perfect.
Next, I created a new blueprint called BP_projectile. I added a sphere mesh and I scaled it down.
Go ahead and create a blueprint class. Actor BP projectile. From here, let's make a simple bullet. Add sphere. See how big this sphere is just out of testing, just to test it. Pretty big, so let's reduce the size by going here on the radius, I imagine. Or it's probably scale. I'll lock the scale so it can be evens. Let's reduce the size by half by just changing one. Now we should change X, Y, and Z. Let's go ahead and hit play. Actually, let's go ahead and test the size of the turret. Of the bullet, sorry. I like to make it a tad more smaller. Go ahead and change it to 0.3. There you go. Yep, that seems pretty nice. Alright.
I also gave it a projectile movement component so it actually travels. I added a small collision sphere to detect hits. Now we got a bullet actor ready to spawn.
Let's add some components to the bullet. Let's go ahead and add a projectile movement. Let's make the initial speed to about 6,000 for now. Always change that later. Let's add a collision. Sphere collision. No, that's capsule. Sphere collision. Here you go. Let's change the size of the sphere collision a little smaller. Let's call it sphere. That way we don't get confused. Change that. Change the radius to 25, 20, 15, to 16. There you go. That way we get see a little bit of it. Okay. Let's add some variables for the turret. First thing first, let's add a fire rate. We might not end up using all the variables, but just like to have a simple setup for now. So what we do is create some floats. Let's call this variable fire rate. Let's create another one. Call this range. Another one. Turn speed. Next one will be max pitch. Pitch, I guess. Current target. Should we make a turret like Halo or TF2, COD? What do you guys think? Now I'm gonna stick to something simple. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is cancel the movement once. I guess once the character presses the key. Just for the sake of things, I'm gonna do the actions on the third person character. I normally do it on the player controller, but I'll do it here just to make things more simpler. We'll add a key event. Let's say, I guess we can do E. We could do E. No, I want E. Alright, so what we want to do, if overlap, I guess we can make make a new variable, make it a Boolean, and call it turret overlap. Question mark. Right here we'll have a checker. Set this to false by default. It's already set to false. So we go back to the turret and we'll make sure that once we overlap with the third person character, we'll go ahead and change the Boolean turret. We'll set that to true. And let's make sure we do it once. Because with overlap, sometimes things get wonky. Obviously, there's better best practices, but right now our main goal is to get this turret up and running. So if we press E, and if we're overlapping with the turret, let's just go ahead and print out true. And if we're not, we'll hit false. Now back to the overlap, we can also make it so we set it to false once we stop touching the turret's collision by doing an end overlap. You know what? I don't think we need to do once just yet. Let's go ahead and delete that. Then we'll go ahead and set this to false. I'll drag the other actor inside the BP third person cast, and then let's go ahead and test it out. Press E, set to true. And once we leave the overlap, it should be false. False, false, false. True, true, true. Perfect. All right, so now let's see what else can we do. I would like to initially, once we press E, lock the camera, lock the character movement, and perhaps start shooting projectiles once we do a left click mouse click.
Here's a quick question for you guys. If you were making this, would you want the turret to shoot like a machine gun, or would you like a slow heavy rocket launcher? Drop your answers in the comments. I'm curious which style you'll pick. So back to the turret blueprint. I added a Boolean to check if the player is overlapping. Then I set up the E key to lock the player's movement when they're inside the turret, and unlock it when they press E again. A simple flip-flop note handles the toggle.
Okay, so from here, I'm pressing E on the BP third person. If it's set to true, let's go ahead and get the character's movement. And let's set to disable movement. See if this works. And yep, movement is disabled. And then if we press E again, we would like to enable movement. So we could either put this in the middle, and then we'll, I believe it's enabled if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, we gotta set it to walking. So we have to set character movement, set movement mode to walking. Perfect. So it would have been easier if we have enable movement, but I get it because we could be coming off falling, swimming, flying, etc. Let's see. Press E, we should be disabled. Can't move anymore. Press E again. And we are still stuck on true. Yeah, because this, so now we probably need a flip mode. So if we're enable, hit true here. Perhaps we need a flip here. Flip-flop node. So if we're here, it's true. If we want to get off the turret, press E again, it'll flip to false. Let's see if this works. Okay, we're stuck. And we're unstuck. Perfect. Exactly what we needed.
For shooting, left click triggers a custom shoot event. That event spawns the projectile at the arrow's location. At first, the bullets were going the wrong way. Pretty common mistake. But I fixed it by using the arrow's forward vector, and now they fire in the correct direction.
Stuck. Okay. Not the direction we want, but that's something. That's awesome. Alright, let's see how to fix this direction. Let's see, maybe here, how are you spawning it? Okay, world location should be fine. We got two ways. We can either change the arrows the lazy way. I don't want to do by changing the arrows. I guess we started off with this one. Obviously, I wonder if we can get the forward from the arrow. Get the forward. Watch it be something really stupid. I'm gonna be so upset. Oh my lord. Here we go. Awesome. When we step away and we click, shouldn't be working. Not shooting, not shooting. Overlap. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Perfect.
To make it feel better, I set up a flip-flop so the turret alternates shots between the left and the right arrows. That way, it looks more like an actual mounted gun instead of everything firing in one spot.
Now let's get the second missile working. So glad I'm doing this. I'm a little rusty, guys. Sorry about that. So now we're gonna go ahead and get arrow 1. Let's do a flip. I guess we could just pretty much... There's probably a better way to do this, but just for the sake of time, let's go ahead and copy this. Paste it here. Then we'll just use arrow 1 for everything. Then here we'll use the flip-flop node. Plug it into the main event. For A, we'll go ahead and use arrow 1, just the right side of the turret. And then for flip 2, we'll go ahead and use second side, the left side of the turret. See if we're missing anything. Here we'll have to change it to arrow 1. And let's see, it should go back and forth between the two sides. Alright, there you go, guys. My simple turret. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
And that's it, a working alternating turret in Unreal Engine 5.6. It's simple, but it gives you the base logic to build something much more advanced later. If you found this useful, hit the like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments, would you style this turret more like Halo, TF2, or COD? I'll check out the answers and maybe we'll build one of those in the next video. And if you want to see the raw live footage of me building this turret step by step, click on the video to the left. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.